Hi everybody, I'm here giving you instructions today on how to make the paddle boat. So what you're going to need, if you saw it before and you just need more instructions, you already know. But if you haven't made it yet, you're going to need the water bottle from your kit, the 2 large sticks that look like this. They're basically dowel rods, they're pretty long. Then you're going to need, there's one popsicle stick in your kit, and then there are some rubber bands. So there should be about 3 that are around the same size, then another one, and then 2 really tiny ones. Those should all be in a baggie together, okay? So these are super small, so just so you can see them, they're really tiny. So they're for like hair braids, that's why they're just small. But they work really well for what we need. So this is pretty simple. The main trouble people have had is getting the sticks on the right side of the boat. So basically, this is the boat. So it's going to be in the water like this. So this would be the front, this would be the back. So you're going to have the sticks are going to be kind of on the sides, stabilizing it. So they're going to be on the side. So what some people have had is, after they put the rubber bands on, they get 2 together. So if you get that, you're just going to have to move them apart, like just slide them. So I'll show you once we get the rubber bands on what that would be like. So you're going to need your 3 rubber bands that are about the same size. Most of them I think are blue, but here mine are kind of just rubber, yellowish color. So all you're going to do, and you can even hold the sticks on one side if that's easier for you. So you're just going to hold the bottle and the sticks. And then you're going to stretch your rubber band out like this and put it over the top. And that's it. That's pretty simple. So you can see these are attached by 1 rubber band, the sticks are together. But you're going to need them apart. So like I said, you can easily just slide them to the side of the bottle. Okay? So that's all I did was slide mine around. So if they end up twisted, I can always move them back. So then you're going to do another one. See, my first rubber band I put near the top of the label, or just before it starts tapering down. The second one's going to go down here in the middle. And I'm just going to hold it again and stretch the rubber band out over the top and pull it down where I want it. Straighten out my sticks again. Alright, so now I got one kind of at the top of the water label and one kind of just under the bottom of it. Then I'm going to put another one that's right here. So you can put that on from the bottom or the top, it doesn't make any difference. Whatever is easiest for you. So I'm going to put this one on from the bottom. So I just stretch it over. Okay, so all this is doing is holding these sticks to the side. And we need the sticks so we can install a paddle. That's the purpose of these, to put the paddle on the boat. So if you've ever seen a big steam paddle boat, like the Mark Twain at Disneyland is really famous, or there's lots of them on the Mississippi River. That's why it's called the Mark Twain, because he's from that area of the world. So it's just a big paddle that turns via steam or diesel power now, and it pushes the paddle around and around and around, and that pushes the boat forward. Okay, so we need to install a paddle on this boat. So we don't have any steam and we don't have any diesel engine in here, so what we're going to use is the power that's stored in the rubber band itself. So you know, if you've ever shot a rubber band or pulled back on it and it just flings across the room, that's the energy it releases when you do that. So we're going to make a paddle that takes advantage of that, okay? So the first thing you have to do is take your popsicle stick and you're going to break it in half and just put them together like this. Okay. So then you take one of your little tiny rubber bands, these little ones right here. Alright, and you're going to wrap them around one end of that, okay, just to keep those sticks from moving. So even if you think it looks really small, it has a lot of stretch. So you should be able to wrap this around probably like 2 or 3 times to make sure it's really tight, okay? So you can see I can still move them sideways and pull them apart a little, but they're not gonna pop apart easily. Okay, so I have that. So I'm gonna set this aside for a second. Then I have one more big rubber band. That's gonna stretch between these 2 posts at the back of the ship. So if your sticks are maybe sticking out way to the front, like this, that happened for some people, all you gotta do is just give it a little pull and a twist till you get it where you want it. Because the paddle in the back, you don't want it to hit this or it will stop the motion. So you need them to stick out more toward the back. So if the front's a little more even with this cap, or just sticks a little ahead of it, that should be perfect, okay? So I'm going to show you that from the side. See, it's just a little past the bottle cap. And most of the stick sticks out at the back, because this is where we're going to put our paddle. So it's going to go around in a circle in here in this space, so you don't want it to hit this, otherwise it won't go. So I have a rubber band. I think I like this one better. So I'm just going to stretch it between these 2 sticks. If it seems a little loose at all, because it's a little bigger rubber band, you can always just twist it and pull that over the top of one or both sides, just so when the sticks are on the side, this is fairly taut. It's not just dangling there. So you just want it to be a little tight. So if you have to wrap this around the stick one more time on each end, just depends on the size of your rubber band. I wrapped this one around once at this side and it seems pretty good, so you can hear that. That's a sign it's taut. So then we're going to take our paddle and install it. So if you separate these a little bit and slide them in between here so that the rubber band, or one side of the rubber band, goes in the middle of these 2 sticks, okay? So that's your paddle. So to make sure it doesn't fly off your boat, we're going to put the little tiny rubber band on the other end of your paddle, just like we did on the first end. So I'm going to rubber band these 2 parts together so they stay and don't come apart, and it doesn't slip off while it's going, like that. Okay, so here it is. So remember, you're just going to slide it onto one of those rubber bands, and then I'm going to put this little one around it, okay? It's pretty small. So I stretched it out, and I'm going to wrap it around here. About 3 times, should be good. And that just keeps it from coming off. It's secure on there. So long as this doesn't hit the end of your boat, it's good. If it's hitting the end of your boat, you need to pull these sticks out a little more, okay? To make sure this has clearance. You don't want it to be right, you don't want it to hit here. We want it to be out here away from it, okay? So then once you have that, you have your whole boat. And what you're going to do is you can use your swimming pool or a bathtub. Either one would be great. A pond, whatever you got at your house. And then you're going to basically just turn this and wind up that rubber band, okay? The more you wind it, the more energy your boat will have. So I'm just winding this and winding it. You can get it pretty tight. It depends how much patience you have. But I'm just winding it, winding it, winding it. Okay, when you're ready and you have it like where you're going to put it in your bathtub, you just set it in there, and then when you're ready for the boat to go, you're just going to let go of this. So I'm going to let go of this, and you're going to see how the paddle turns. And then when it runs out of energy, your boat will stop. So you can just wind it up again. Just like that. Alright, and then watch me let it go so you can see how it turns. So that's going to move the water out of the way and push the boat. So try that out in your, if you have a big sink If you have a tub or you have a pool or a pond, any of those things is going to work for you. And it should just move right along, right out of the frame. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to repeat the part of putting the paddle together, because that's the part people have the most trouble with, just so you can see it one more time. And you can always pause the video and rewind and stop if you think you're having troubles. So I'm just going to pull that off again. So remember, a lot of people when they start, it looks like this. It's all crazy. So you have your 3 rubber bands, but all you got to do is move these out to the side, okay? You just adjust them because you want it to be just level with that bottle cap or just a little in front of it. Most of them are going to stick out at the back, remember? Okay. Then you have your, let me get this on. So you have your stick done in half, and you've wrapped one of the small rubber bands around the end. So that's the easy part. Then you're going to install this rubber band on the back. So it just goes across these two, like that. If this is loose and you want it a little tighter, you can just twist the rubber band and push it back over the top one more time to take up a little of the slack. If it's still not tight enough, you can do it on the other side. But you just want it to be where it's not going to fall off, okay? Tight, but not, it doesn't have to be so tight it's pushing the bottle together. Just tight enough. And you're going to take this. Remember, it's clamped at one end with a rubber band. And you're going to take it and open it up a little. And you're going to put it with one half of the rubber band between these two sticks. Then you're going to stick them back together like that. Okay, but see, this kind of gapes open, so we're going to put the other little rubber band here to hold it closed. So I have to unwind mine, sorry. Alright, so here's my little rubber band. And I'm going to put it around this end like 3 times or so. Just so that it's tight. It's okay if it takes a couple tries. There we go. So those are on there. It's okay if it's spread out a little, it doesn't matter. It's just holding that rubber band in so it's not flopping all around. It doesn't fly out. Then this is ready for the water. All you have to do is wind up your paddle. And then don't let the paddle go till you have it sitting in the water. And then you let that go and it's going to push that boat right along, okay? So that's all there is to it. It's pretty simple, but it shows you how the paddle can propel the boat. So that's all I have. If you need more instructions, just pause the video, rewind, and start back again. Remember, these are easy to move side to side. All you have to do is hold the other side of the bottle and move them around how you need them. And they should be on each side, okay? Alright, I'm going to see you next time. If this video helped you, just like us and subscribe to our channel to make sure you have access to all of our videos. We try to post them up daily as the projects happen. So there are no previews, but you can see them after they've happened if you missed it, or if you just need a little more instructions, and that's totally fine. And we have a paper that went out in your bags last week, so if your parents could sign that you watched that, that helps us a lot to keep track of what's going on. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.